World War I was a very brutal conflict. There was two teams in this war, the Central Powers and the Allied Powers. The Central Powers had Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Turkey, also known as the Ottoman Empire. The Allied Powers had Great Britain, France, Russia, later known as the Soviet Union, Italy, Japan, and in 1917, the United States. World War I started on July 28th of 1914 and it ended in November 11th of 1918. There were many different advancements of technology. For example, both sides started using new rifles that use a technology called breech loading. It works by when you open the gun's barrel or muzzle, which is the end of the barrel, you load in bullets and it takes less time than using a normal gun because you can quickly just open the barrel, load in more bullets, and just keep shooting. There's also machine guns, which can automatically reload themselves and just use more ammunition. Soon they use different types of ways to go across the battlefield. Some still use the old-fashioned horse, but other armies, especially Great Britain, started using tanks, which are armored vehicles using treads that can go across almost any terrain. A tank is an armored vehicle which uses treads, and it has a machine gun on the side and a main cannon on a turret that can rotate and shoot enemies. Inside the turret, there would usually be a commander and a main gunner. There would also be some machine gunners and the tank's pilot. To try to destroy a tank, they would use grenades, which at the time was just a stick grenade, which you can throw on and on impact it will explode. They also use mortars and artillery cannons that are loaded with explosives and aimed at a target, or X-shaped beams, which are obstacles that usually no vehicle can get past. Destroying a tank with only bullets was absolutely useless, and it was just an absolute waste of ammunition. But you could kill the tank's crew, which would mean that there was nobody driving the tank. Some also use flamethrowers, invented by the Germans. It shoots flames out of a gun. It works by spreading fiery gas in the air, which starts burning in a huge tongue of fire. But to hide from all these monstrosities, both sides started using trench warfare. It's basically where there are tunnels, but without roofs, dug into the ground with a twisty and turning maze. Soldiers can hide in these trenches to protect themselves from enemy fire, and can also fight against tanks and infantry by using machine guns and other weapons. Over the trenches, there would usually be a pillbox, which is basically a concrete square with a round top and a slit cut into the middle of it, so a sniper or machine gunner could hide it there and fire on the enemy without getting shot themselves. You'd have to be a very good shot to kill the gunner in a pillbox. Or some would hide behind sandbags, which, like the name, is just bags of sand which could absorb bullets before it would break. To infiltrate these trenches, they would use raids with submachine guns, grenades, and flamethrowers, or tanks and other vehicles to raid this underground base. Air power was something that improved too. Both teams used early and simple ones that had machine guns on them and that could soar into the sky and drop bombs, shoot other planes, or raid bases. There would usually be a pilot with a machine gunner in front of them, and the planes would have a synchronized propeller, so whenever they fired the machine gun, it wouldn't bounce back on its own pilot. There was also a gunner in the back with a pistol or a machine gun too, shooting at other planes or in the ground. A big thing was sea battles. The Germans had a powerful early submarine they called U-boats that could go under the water and shoot torpedoes at the other enemy ships. There were also huge battleships armed with cannons to shoot planes or machine guns. They also carried troops that would raid enemy beaches. To conclude this history lesson, World War I was filled with new inventions that were mainly aimed at killing their enemies. They called this war the Great War because almost the whole world was in it. And this was a huge war that they also called the war to end all wars. But of course, there were always much more wars after this. And there was even a sequel to this war, World War II. I hope you learned something today. Bye for now. Please subscribe.